Hi there, thanks for joining me for another Dear Sam Help Horsemanship Series. One of the most stressful things that I find people wind up encountering with their horses, besides the trailer loading part, is the actual hauling of horses. And so this week I just wanted to jump on here real quickly and just give some ideas and some thoughts because a lot of times when people feel daunted or overwhelmed or don't have that much hauling experience in driving a horse trailer, they tend to try and avoid scenarios that are might make them feel uncomfortable, where they have to back up or where they have to hook up or where other people are watching. And I find that without realizing it, people develop this anticipation as far as, okay, I have to drive the horse trailer and what's going to happen and what about this, and it becomes this really stressful scenario. So one of the things to just consider is, before you ever put your horse in the trailer, think about, is there a location that you can go to where you will not have unasked for opinions, or maybe bring someone for an asked opinion and support, such as a parking lot early on a weekend morning, or maybe an empty school parking lot type of situation, somewhere where you have lots of room and you don't have to worry about too many obstacles in the way. And one of the things that I really suggest is picking points, and even if you have to use like cones and set something up so you have some visual guidance, and practice making your turns where just like if you were riding your horse, you were looking towards something specific, you were making the turn, and then you were following all the way through to find the end point. And then I suggest to people to put their car into park and then go and get out and look to see where their trailer actually is versus where they think it is. Because I think one of the biggest challenges in driving trailers, especially when people aren't used to driving longer vehicles, is thinking that what they're seeing in the side mirrors is an accurate perception as far as where they actually are. And I find often when people get out of the vehicle and start to look where there's specific guidelines and recognize, wow, I thought I was either closer or farther away, or I thought I had more room, this can start to help give someone a more accurate perception as far as how they need to adapt their tow vehicle and perhaps their turning degree, or how much space they need, or how much time they take for making a turn, so that they know exactly where their trailer's at. The second part of this is learning how to back the trailer. And of course, everybody rolls their eyes and talks about the disasters and gets stressed out, and every vehicle is different depending on your tow vehicle, depending on your trailer setup. The shorter and smaller the trailer, usually the more difficult it is to back, versus the longer trailers. But this is something to start to take on in slow pieces. And someone may say, well, I don't really have to haul my horse that much, so I don't really need to. One of the biggest keys to giving people confidence in life, no matter what they do, is being prepared ahead of time. And although many people don't want to put in the time and the effort, the more small, short, unoverwhelming situations you have of practicing hauling, driving, backing in really short segments, again, being specific, having an object you're aiming towards, getting out, looking at where you're going, having the time when you're not stressed out or not trying to hurry up because of an emergency, or not being rushed because of someone else who had somewhere to go and their horse is in the trailer with yours, allows the whole process of hauling horses to become far less stressful. And one of the biggest reasons why this matters, besides how you feel about when you're loading your horse, if you're already anticipating or being concerned about driving your truck, that's going to come across to the quality of your communication when you are loading your horse. But the second part is your level of awareness for the drivers around you is going to be really diminished if you're kind of all consumed in worrying about how you're driving the rig or where your trailer's at. So one of the things that allows you to have more perception and sort of make time when it doesn't seem like there's time, especially if you're having to drive in high traffic areas or navigate specific areas, is the more confidence you have in understanding the degree in which you need to turn your tow rig so that your trailer ends up where you want, and you can understand when you are looking in your side mirrors for perception of your trailer where it actually is, allows you to be far more present, to then be aware of what other drivers are doing. And unfortunately, perhaps if you have to do some defensive driving towards people who tend to want to cut off horse trailers, or not give them enough room, or tailgate them, or all the other lovely things that comes up. But this was something I was thinking about because the other day I had to drop off my trailer for some maintenance, and I had to back, and the man who owned the electrical company that was working on my trailer brought it up that, how many women come in with trailers and cannot back the trailer. And this isn't about if you're a man or woman, but I do tend to find that more often than not, women have less experience hauling horses and also being confident in backing trailers. So any opportunity you have that you can take without your horse loaded, so you don't have to worry about him becoming impatient, practice driving that trailer. And I know it may seem like a lot of work and you have to go and hitch up and you have to go somewhere else and you will be happy that you do. The day you have to navigate some awkward, difficult, tight spot and you're able to do it with confidence, all of those previous times will have been worth it. And I just cannot tell you how many people drive horse trailers and are totally stressed out and exhausted because they don't realize they're in this hyper alert state. They're gripping the steering wheel. It's kind of like when you're a brand new driver in general, because there's not this confidence, because there is not enough experience. So not that you have to go out and haul long distances, but just every once in a while, the more you can practice hooking up your rig on your own. That's another one that causes a lot of people concern. Practicing understanding how to do it if you don't have someone guiding you, and again, doing these things when you're not in a rush, when someone else isn't imposing their unasked for opinion, so that you can have the time to learn how to think through and do what you need to do. The more self-sufficient you can be in being able to hook up your rig, check your rig, and drive and back your rig, the less stressful overall hauling will be. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for joining me.